Regular Show is a fascinating series, not for nothing, as many people consider it the best Cartoon Network series. Today, we're going to talk about an episode that addresses Mordecai's ingratitude towards Rigby. If you get annoyed with Mordecai, know that you're not alone. This episode revealed Mordecai's most rotten and selfish side, so without further ado, let's begin. Right from the start of the episode, we have Mordecai and Rigby working together, and CJ shows up. At this point, CJ was still Mordecai's girlfriend, and she came to take Mordecai on a date. In this situation, Mordecai asks Rigby to finish the job alone. Rigby agrees, and from there, we have a sequence of Mordecai's requests to Rigby, and in all of them, Rigby gladly agrees. Throughout the series, Rigby has never been a reliable person, so to speak, but these actions showed how much he cared about his friend. He had no obligation to accept those requests, but he did, probably because he wanted his friend's relationship to stay strong. After a while, during a meeting, Benson asked Mordecai to help Rigby change the light bulbs, and when Rigby said he could do it alone, everyone, including Mordecai, laughed at him. I can understand that others might think he's still useless without Mordecai, but Mordecai should have been the first to defend Rigby. While Rigby has put them in various predicaments, he didn't deserve to be treated that way. This shows a lot about Mordecai's selfish personality. In his view, he's superior to Rigby just because his diploma guarantees his job, and all Rigby did was the minimum. No one deserves to go through such situations, especially coming from their best friend. All Rigby asked for was to be recognized. In exchange for all those favors, he just wanted Mordecai to say that he is useful, something Mordecai didn't even do. In this episode, Mordecai's most unpleasant side was exposed. He showed that he never recognized the help Rigby gave him over time. Rigby helped him get over Margaret and meet CJ, but apparently, for Mordecai, that was the bare minimum. Mordecai said Rigby was everything but useful, and he even started listing all the times Rigby basically complicated things, concluding that Rigby is the complete opposite of useful. When Rigby said they did those things together, Mordecai responded by saying he was there. In other words, Mordecai thinks that in all those times, Rigby caused the problems, and Mordecai solved them. Clearly, Rigby gets really upset, and he quits his job, at which point everyone starts laughing at him. And once again, Mordecai reminds him that it was his references that got them the job, but he still left. It's undeniable that Rigby really owes a lot to Mordecai, but it's also undeniable that Mordecai owes a lot to Rigby. After all, that's how friendships work, but for some reason, it seemed like Mordecai enjoyed humiliating Rigby. Rigby goes to a place looking for job vacancies, and it seems like there are several vacancies with some conditions: having a diploma, graduating from high school, and having a driver's license. Clearly, our friend Rigby doesn't have any of these attributes, leaving him with only one option. I think this symbolizes the fact that a good education opens many doors for our future. It's common nowadays to see people saying that school and college are useless. My opinion on this is simply to ignore it. For some reason, teenagers are the ones who pay the most attention to this. I don't agree with various aspects of the education system, but to say it's useless is just teasing. If you don't agree with your teacher who says that the only way to succeed in life is through school, that's fine. But that doesn't mean you should agree with the opinions of everyone who believes what you believe. School and university are important, and there's no problem in thinking that. I would say that school is the divide between serving oneself and serving society as a whole. There's no one studying medicine or architecture with the intention of becoming a millionaire. These are people who want to serve society and, above all, people who want to feel important, while others would be people who want to live life, enjoying it to the fullest. Being part of one of these groups is not a reason for shame or for defaming the other. These are two groups made up of people who made their choices, and there's nothing wrong with that. Continuing with the episode, we see that the only option left was a moving company that carried everything on their backs. The boss seems to be kind of nice, but he is very strict about carrying things on their backs, and Rigby can only enter through the back door. Rigby doesn't quite understand why. After all, it wouldn't change anything and it's even more painful. But the boss doesn't give a plausible justification, just hinting that he must do it because it's the company's motto. The funny thing is that probably no one cares about it. If someone looks for example, a restaurant called Everything in 5 Minutes, you wouldn't expect them to do everything in 5 minutes. That would even be a reason to suspect their methods. So what kind of person would find it fun to see a bunch of people carrying boxes on their backs and leaving them at the back door? But Rigby had to do it, and that's how his first day of work ends. When he comes home, Mordecai still has the nerve to ask Rigby for another favor as if nothing had happened. Clearly, Rigby refuses to make this request and even enumerates some of the times he helped Mordecai, and he didn't thank him. And even if there weren't many, they continued to be very important things. Vincent arrives and sends him away, claiming that that house was only for employees. That's a plausible reason, but the other reason would be that they intend to put a printing machine in that place. Rigby sleeps in a truck, and the next day he goes to Eileen. She offers him a massage and motivates him to continue with the job. This is one of the reasons why I think their relationship is so healthy. Both he and she push each other to become better people. Unlike Mordecai's relationships, I don't remember a time when Mordecai or his partner encouraged each other to do something, even if they didn't like it, just because it was best for them. His relationships are just fun and fun. They're just happy moments, and when there are sad moments, they're not sad at an acceptable level. It's simply out of this world. Some days go by. Rigby keeps trying, so much so that even his new colleagues give him the due recognition, and the long-awaited payday has arrived. In the company, there's a tradition that on the first payday, the employee must unload an entire truck alone. However, inside this truck, there are things that are simply impossible to carry, like a car. So Eileen brought Mordecai to help. Rigby is still angry with him and explains that he has felt like a mere disposable helper to Mordecai. He mentions that he helped him in various things like getting a girlfriend and preventing him from returning Margaret's sweater, and he simply stabbed him in the back. Mordecai says he never asked him to do any of those things. Then Rigby says that clearly Mordecai didn't ask. He did it because he was his friend. One of the most beautiful lines in this cartoon. Rigby starts unloading the truck, and when there was only one box left, it's interesting to note the difference from Mordecai to Eileen. While Mordecai gives reasons for him to give up, Eileen gives reasons for him to continue, which in this case was to prove that he is useful. With that, Rigby manages to unload the truck, and only then does Mordecai apologize. And finally, Rigby manages to achieve his goal of rubbing the check in his friend's face, and so the episode ends. To conclude, I just wanted to say that gratitude, or rather the lack of it, can ruin the goodwill of many people. You probably have a friend or family member who has helped you in many things, and you never showed gratitude. Some don't know what it's like, and others simply think it's the minimum. Try one day to call your mom or someone and just thank them for everything they've done for you. That friend who gave you the answers during the exam, or even the one who explained the subjects to you, be grateful to him. This is the end of another video. If you liked it, leave a like. If not, tell me the reason in the comments. The channel is new, so any help is welcome. Thanks for everything, and until next time.